Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the new vid, and today I'm gonna be showing you my GTA 5 car collection. This is probably my first time doing this. I have a bunch of garages full of cars, but I only have 4 garages full with the cars that I'm willing to show you, because the other garages don't really have that many good cars in it. So this is my office garage 1, and I have 3 of them, and I'm going to show you my garage in the Eclipse Towers apartment. And that's all for this video. So let's get started. Alright, right here, let me get in first person. We got the Veste 8. Yeah, and by the way, I'm going to be rating each car, like 1 out of 10, for my liking of it. So, yeah, we got the Veste 8. I'm going to rate this thing probably a 9 out of 10 because it's just hella fast, and the way it looks is just like really futuristic and cool. And this is a car that I would use for time trials and stuff, and I just love it that much. But yeah, 9 out of 10. This is just one of my favorite cars and stuff like that. Alright, we got the X88 Proto. I'll rate this thing probably like an 8 or 7.5 out of 10. Because I don't know, the way it's designed, sort of weird, but it's like really sick at the same time. Love how aerodynamic it is. It isn't that fast though compared to the rest of the supercars I own. But yeah, interior is hella nice, and I love how you can see the suspension and all of that. But it's a good 7.5 out of 10. Alright, we got the Emirates. This car is just like beautiful. It's really nice. I'll probably rate it like an 8 out of 10. It's not as fast. But it handles really well, and I just love the windows on the doors. It's actually just so sick. Just the way it's designed, it's so nice. Alright, let's head over to the Tesseract. And I think that's how you say it. So I'm probably gonna rate this thing a 9 out of 10 because it's electric. The way this thing accelerates is amazing. Like, I can beat all my friends' drag races in this thing. I love it so much. It's just hella fun, and just the way I don't really like how it looks. It's a little ugly, and has no noise or anything, but it just accelerates so fast. Alright. This thing looks ugly. This is the scramjet, and it looks ugly, but it's the most fun car to use when I'm bored. So I'll give this thing a 9.5 out of 10. It's just you can fly up like onto the top of the map. It's just so much fun to use, and I'm just not doing anything. So yeah, this is like when I'm bored. Alright, the Vigilante. I'll rate this thing another 9.5 out of 10. The rockets are hella good. This thing looks sick. The boost is amazing. And yeah, that's all I have to say for this car. So let's head up to the top floor. To the second floor. Alright, we got the Wagner, I believe. And the way that it's not that fast. So I'd rate this thing 6.5 out of 10, but it's just really good looking, I'd say. Really nice. I love how Rockstar designed it. And I love all the exposed carbon I can put on the car and stuff. Alright, over here, we got the FMJ. This is one of the coolest looking cars in the game, in my opinion. I rate this thing an 8.5 out of 10. It's fast too. It's like hella fast, but not as fast as most of my cars. But yeah, this thing is just like designed so well. I just love it so much. Alright. The Krieger. This is like, I think it should be a 10 out of 10, to be honest with you. I mean, the way this thing has all-wheel drive, I can just bar and drag race that doesn't have boost in this car, which is actually good. Just the way it handles with the all-wheel drive, because you don't have that many like supercars in this game with all-wheel drive. This thing just launches like crazy, and it's so sick. Okay, so right here we got the 811, and I mean, this is a good 6 out of 10, I'd say. I mean, it looks pretty nice, and the top doesn't accelerate that fast, but it has a really good top speed for its price. This thing, I didn't really paint it that well. My wheel choice wasn't that good, but the only thing cool about, like, I'm gonna rate this a 6 out of 10 too, because the only thing cool about this car is the wing that pops up right here and the way the doors open. Just like, check this out. They open like Koenigsegg doors. Just so sick. Yeah, so that's really the why the car is cool. Alright, I got the Pariah, I think. This thing's really ugly, I'd say. But for a sports car, it's just hella fast. Like when I'm using this in sports races, so I give this 5.5 out of 10 because I never usually use this car. I don't really like the look of it, and I don't know. I don't do that many races, so 5.5 out of 10 in my opinion. All right. This car I just based off the Jaguar. I forgot the name, and I forgot the name of this car, but I just based it off of some Jaguar in real life. That's the only real reason why I bought it. I just bought it to make my garage look a little cooler, and this is like a 3 out of 10 or something. I mean, it looks pretty sick in my garage, just chilling here, but it's not like I'm ever gonna drive it. All right. By the way, if you guys are interested how I bought all of these cars, just check out my YouTube channel. I have a bunch of money methods and stuff like that for you to see. Alright, here we go. This is the 8F Drafter. I'm surprised I remember most of these cars' names. But, yeah, the 8F Drafter. This thing is based off an Audi. I think it looks sick. It sounds amazing. And I'm gonna rate this a 6.5 out of 10 because just the way it looks and the way it sounds just sounds so good, and I just love it. I don't really like driving it that much because it's not the fastest car in the game, but it's just Rockstar did a great job on this car and I love it. Okay, this is like one of my favorite cars to like just drive and when I don't want to go fast because it's just like a nice classy car. It's the Windsor Drop. I think I'll give this thing a 6, and I'll also rate it 6.5 out of 10 because this thing is just so like long and just like classy, and I love it. I love how's the drop top. It's just amazing. It's so nice. So yeah, 6.5. All right, this thing I just bought it because it looked cool on the shop, but it's a good 4.5 out of 10. I mean, it doesn't go that fast, but it looks pretty nice on the back. I don't really like the headlights that much, but other than the headlights, this thing's pretty sick. I think it's based off the Ferrari FF. I don't really know the name of this car. Okay, now we got the Mascaro. So I'm gonna rate this thing. This thing isn't the best car in the game. I mean, it's like really cheap. This is one of the first cars I ever bought because it's just such a cheap car, but it's so good for the price you pay for it. And I'll rate this thing like, literally, I'm just gonna rate it a good 6.5 out of 10, just because the way how like if you're starting out in this game, this car is around 300 to 400k, but it's like so good. So I prefer buying this if you don't have that much money. It's just so nice. And the way it looks is just so good. Alright, this is a good 4 out of 10. I just bought it because it looks like a Corvette. It's based off the Corvette. And I designed it pretty well, in my opinion. But I don't know. I just like bought it. This is one of my first cars too because this thing's hella cheap. So this is something you should buy when you're starting out too. Alright, let's look at this. The Zentorno. Now this is an OG right here. This is like, I bought this car early on too, because it's just like, really, it's only like around 800k. It's like really fast. It competes with all the cars that are millions of dollars and stuff. So for that reason, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Just for the reason it's so cheap and it looks so good and it's so fast for how cheap it is. Alright, this thing, I just bought it when I first started out too. I just bought it as a cheap classic car. I have the Windsor drop now. I just kept this one in my garage because it looks pretty sick. And that's it for Office Garage 1. Let's go to number 2. Alright. Office Garage 2. So, I forgot the name of this car. The Tigan, or however you say it. I don't really care that much. But I only bought this car because it was brand new, and I haven't really got to drive it that much because I barely had it. But this thing, I'll rate this thing 7 out of 10 because it's like pretty fast, decently fast. I really like it. And it looks so sick. I love how it's designed and all of that, and it's just looking really nice. Alright, for this one, this is a Neo. And this thing is just so classy. It's not the fastest car, though. I'll give it a good 7.5 out of 10, but this is the classiest car. I just love how nice it is and the way it's designed. It's just so classy, and the interior is so sick. And it's actually so nice. Alright. Here we go is the Tyrant. Yeah, this thing is just so slow. Just really slow. But it looks amazing. So that's 6 out of 10 for that reason. Just because it looks good. I don't drive that much. I just have it to look good in my garage, and it looks amazing. But Rockstar did a bad job on the engine for that car. Alright, this thing, I don't even know what it's called, the S80RR. And this thing is actually sick. I just don't really drive that much. For this price, it's not really worth it at all. But this is like a good 6 out of 10 because it just looks sick and it's a race car. Alright, here we go. This is the first 10 out of 10 car. 1, because it's an F1 car, of course. It's like one of the best cars in the game. Has boost and all that. 2, look how well Rockstar did on designing this. It looks like the exact same F1 cars that you see on TV. It's actually so nice. And it's just amazing how they designed this thing. I'm just like, when I first bought this, amazed how crazy how good of a job they did. This is so good. Alright, let's head on to my other F1 car. I bought this one pretty early, as you can tell, and it's an 8 out of 10. Because just look at this compared to that. Like, I mean, it's an F1 car. Like, it just performs hella well, but it's not like I'm ever going to use this thing again because that F1 car is just so much better. Alright, let's go up to the next floor. Alright, we got the garage thing. And this is, I like to nickname this thing the Fervette. This looks like actually no, it looks like a Corvette up front and a Ferrari. And I think this is a sports class car, not sure. But if it is, this thing is like an 8 out of 10 because it's so fast and it looks so good. And it's just amazing. So 8 out of 10 for that. Alright, I think it's a Conquest D10. And yeah, Rockstar, I mean, it does not handle well at all, but it's pretty fast. It just does not handle that well. But besides the handling, it's a really good car, so I give this thing a 7.5 out of 10. Alright, I just bought this thing, I forgot what it's called. I just bought this thing because it looked classy. And it is a Swinger. And I give it like 5 out of 10. And I just bought it because it's just a hella classy car. Alright, you might be wondering why I have my off-road tires on the Cyclone. I did that because I was trying out a mod glitch thing on the tires, but it didn't really work out that well. So, I'm gonna have to take those tires off soon because it looks hella ugly, but besides that, the Cyclone is a 8 out of 10 because it's just all-wheel drive, accelerates so fast, still good top speed because it's electric. So yeah, I love the Cyclone. Can't go wrong with that. Alright, we got the Hermes. This thing is actually sick. Like, classy ride, design wise. This thing, you can like drag it really well. You can do like sick wheelies on this thing and make it go really fast. And just the ways, I'll give this thing a 6.5 out of 10 because it just looks really sleek. Alright, this car is underrated in the game. Like, if I go to a car meet in GTA, I'm always going to be pulling out this thing right here, because this thing is just the cleanest car in the game, in my opinion. So clean. Just the way, I give this thing a 9 out of 10. I know I'm overrating it a lot, but dude, it's just the cleanest car in the game, and I just love this car so much for some reason. And I'll always be pulling this thing out. It's fast. It's not the fastest in the game, it's just the way it looks. It's the cleanest. The Comet Retro Custom. It's just so nice. Changed the color a few times on this thing, but I just love it. Alright, I just felt like I had to buy this thing. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. I mean, it doesn't perform as well as you would think it will. And that's really it. I have to say for that. And this car is called the Tauros. Alright, let's go up to the last floor of Garage 2. Alright, the Hellfire is just such a good muscle car. It's just one of the best muscle cars in the game. Like, this is one of the best cars they added into the game pretty recently. And I would give this thing, because this thing swings really well, and I just love to drive it. It's just such a fun car to drive. So just because of that, I'm just gonna give it a good 8.5 out of 10, because I just love the car so much. So much fun to drive. And I'm also a muscle car guy. And I really need to take off this wing. I don't know why I put the wing on, but I don't really like it that much. Yeah, the Hellfire is just so sick. Alright, we got the Z-Type. This thing, I just bought it because it looks good in my garage. That's really it. I mean, it's really classy, really nice. And that's a good 5 out of 10 for this thing. Just love how classy it is. And that's really it. Nothing else to say about this thing. Alright. Here we go. We got the Dukes. I love it can put the American flag on top of the car, like Dukes of Hazzard. It's just so sick. This thing looks so good, and I just love to drive it. I'll give this thing a 7 out of 10 because the lights like pop out of these rectangles too, which is actually so nice. I just love the car. It's a good looking car. Alright, we got the Deviant, I believe. Yeah. This thing is just one of the best muscle cars in the game. You can't go wrong with this thing. Good 6 out of 10 for this car because I love muscle cars. It's just one of the best old classic muscle cars you can buy in the game. You got the Gasser. This thing is just like you just like fully. This is one of the cars I can like actually fully do a drag build on. And it just does sick wheelies, and I just love the car for that. It's amazing. And I just bought this car because I felt like I needed another lowrider. Oh yeah, I forgot to rate the Gasser. I'm gonna rate this thing 6.5 out of 10. And this, I'm gonna rate it 4 out of 10. I just made it pink because why not? I just never really drive that at all. And the drift truck, one of the best drift cars in the game, no doubt. Love it. And this thing is called the Yosemite, I think. Yosemite. I don't know why I said it like that. The Drift Yosemite, or Yosemite, however you want to say it. But yeah, this thing is just so much fun. 7 out of 10, just because it's hella fun to drift and it looks pretty sick. It's unique. That's what I like about it. Alright, that's it for the second office garage. Let's go to the third. Alright guys, so I've decided that I just want to split this video into 2 parts. I'll do office B and the Eclipse Towers, which is the building over there. Like tall building. I have a garage in there too that's like almost full. I didn't even fill that garage up yet. I have like one more car to put in there to fill it up. But I'll make a part 2 because this video is just way too long right now. And this is Off Scratch 3. I'll show you guys in the next video. I don't really want to spoil it. And stay tuned for part 2. See you in the next one. Peace.